than 60 years have passed since the Holocaust took place. Millions of pieces of evidence, documents, and photographs have been collected and are on display for all to see. It's difficult to believe, but there are still some who doubt or even deny that the Holocaust even took place.
One of the ironies of the rhetoric of Ahmadinejad is, on the one hand, he denies the Holocaust, and yet he seems to be calling for yet another Holocaust in order to trigger the return of the lost Imam.
Should he develop or buy nuclear weapons and match them with the high-speed missiles that he currently has, Ahmadinejad could do in 6 minutes what it took Adolf Hitler 6 years to do, and that is to kill 6 million Jews. And that is not his ultimate objective. He has said he wants to wipe Israel off the face of the map, but he's also called on the Muslim world to envision a world without the United States. And he said, is this possible? A world without America and without Zionism? And he said, yes, it is, when our holy hatred strikes like a wave.
The problem is lack of clarity in the West. Actually, Western people are sleeping. People in the West do not feel like they are engaged in World War III. But they are now attacked. They are under a jihadist offense. Only few leaders understand it. And we need to wake up. We need awakening. Otherwise, it will be too late.
This is the nightmare scenario, that the most radical Islamic extremist regime that is already the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, that is now fully entrenched in the most violent way in Iraq, killing thousands of innocent people, that has called for wiping Israel off the map, an end to the United States, that has this global Islamic rule agenda and believes in the end of the world, would now get the nuclear bomb.
If you look at all the operations from 9/11, the 10 airplanes, all these operations, there's one thing in common in all of them, and that is, they want a grand finale. They don't want to simply put a bomb in a bus or in a mall. They want a grand finale. They want one operation that kind of cripples America once and for all.
As horrible as 9/11 was, experts tell me their nightmare scenario is for a single 10-kiloton nuclear bomb to be detonated right here in Washington, right by the White House, which could kill 300,000 people in a matter of minutes and destroy everything within a half mile of where I'm standing.
Just imagine the announcement that there is a container ship afloat somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean containing either weapons of mass destruction or containing even short-range missiles. It would certainly set off a panic among many people. And if the United States was considering military action against Iran at some point in the future, and the Iranians could boast that they had container ships with missiles, this might forestall action by the U.S. or any of its allies.
You think that these people are normal. You think that Iran would conform to the conceptions of deterrence and careful calculation of cost and benefit. But in fact, it is part of that stream of radical Islam, in this case Shiite stream. But you've already seen what the Sunni stream does, which is to smash into buildings in Manhattan with collective suicide, to smash into the Pentagon with collective suicide. And there's no reason to believe that the militant Shiites, once they have atomic weapons, will not be suicidal.
This is a threat for all the free world, not for the one another candidate, not for one another country, but for all the free world to remain free.
Back in 1998, the U.S. Congress, both the Democrats and the Republicans, put together a commission analyzing the vulnerability of the United States to ballistic missile attack from third world countries. This commission, which received material from American intelligence sources, concluded that the Iranians could build an intercontinental range missile that could strike the eastern seaboard of the United States within 5 years of taking the decision of doing so. And it wouldn't be clear to American intelligence and military leaders that in fact the Iranians had taken that decision.
The confrontation with this regime is inevitable, and is going to be a military one rather than a political one, because of the lack of determination when it comes to the international community to deal with it by political or economic means. And we can't avoid it unless we are going to give up our way of life, our values, our culture.
To take strong action against Iran, first in the form of sanctions, and second, if those don't work, using other means, is something that would be criticized, perhaps severely criticized. By the way, less so in the Arab and Muslim world. They just want it to happen. They're begging it to happen. But in the sort of polite, politically correct opinion salons that never get it right in the West, you'd be criticized, but you'd be saving the world and probably saving millions and millions of lives.
Israel, in Ahmadinejad's view, is the little Satan. The United States is considered the great Satan. We are both in the crosshairs of radical Islam.
The signs of the times are right at hand, and things are falling into place, like Russia and the Arab world working together. They're the best of friends. I don't know how they can trust each other, but they're getting together, and they'll settle their differences later, I suppose they think.
Russia has been deeply involved, and of course, in arming the whole, Syrian and the Iranians and all. They're deeply involved already in the Middle East, and it's just a matter of time.
The Bible, with all of its predictions, centers all of those prophecies as occurring at a particular period of time, and once they start occurring, they're going to occur very rapidly in succession, and it's principally centered in the Middle East.
I would say that American interest in Bible prophecy is increased over the years. Of course, there's a whole new generation that's hearing it for the first time, but I think for those of us who have always believed in it, we have only become more confirmed in our belief, because everything that we were talking about maybe 30 years ago is happening in a more vivid way today.
42% of all Americans said they agreed we are living in the last days. A remarkable 52% of all Americans said they agreed that the rebirth of Israel is a sign prophecy has been fulfilled.
I think we'd be looking for a coalition of forces led by Russia and Iran to begin to surround Israel and move their forces to try to destroy Israel.
Russia is supplying them. They're making the Iranians and not just the Iranians, the other Arab countries around there are falling into place, and they're making them dependent on Russia. Russia's tanks, Russia's airplanes, Russia's equipment, and that's what Russia has to offer them.
You'd be watching